All right. So for those folks, new folks out there, this is Mr. jr.coca. He's a good friend of mine, and he's our go-to person when it comes to visa and your retirement visas here in the Philippines. And I just heard that JR is now expanding into real estate. How is that going?
Mm-hmm. It was going pretty well. I'm a licensed real estate broker. And it is also one of our objective really to guide our foreign friends, especially on their relocation, on their decision to go to the Philippines. One is visa, and next is their place to stay here in the Philippines.
Let's talk about rentals, because most of the foreigners who watch my channel, they know that they can't own land in the Philippines, right? So they have to
Yes.
rent. They have to rent. Okay. So how prevalent are rental scams in the Philippines based on your experience?
There are a lot of rental scams, and as what our foreign friends are categorizing as of the moment. But those scams may be prevented if they know what to ask and what to really take a look at.
So what are those most common rental scams so far, that you've experienced?
There are a lot. To name a few, like they have actually posted something in the online or social media or any platforms that they can advertise it, in which they are not actually the legal representative of that particular rental property. Second, they have the variances of the rental prices, because sometimes, and there are times that they're actually like they're topping up with what is really the rental fee or the amount of the particular property.
Okay. So they're not even the real owners, and they're listing it online, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and they're changing the price. It's like, okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
only for 10,000 pesos, and then afterwards it's gonna be 15 or 20. So there's your foreigners tax, they call it. What are the identifying red flags when you're looking at a rental place? What should they do to check that it's a legitimate listing?
Number one, they need to start for the person that they're actually transacting with. That person should be authorized by the owner of that property. So at least they should have a special power of attorney. And that special power of attorney is citing the things that that particular attorney, in fact, can do in behalf of the owner, the registered owner of the property. Like, for example, it should be stated there that they can negotiate. It should be stated there that they can have they are allowed to invite someone to view the unit. They're also allowed to receive money, because we have also encountered before that a certain owner of that rental property have not received the rent from the lessor of the property, because the agent didn't actually give that to the registered owner. So, and also, they should actually make sure that that particular agent have registered in a government agency. Number one, he or she or the agent that I'm referring to should be registered in the Professional Regulations Commission (PRC) as a registered salesperson, real estate salesperson. So those are the things that will actually have the start, apart from checking the property. Now, for the property itself, you can actually ask for a copy of the land title, the tax declaration of the land, and the contract of lease if you decided to rent that property.
How can they verify it? Do they have to go to a certain government office, especially online? How can they verify that?
It's very hard to verify it online. So what works here in the Philippines is really the paperwork. If you don't have the paperwork, then think twice. That's a red flag
Oh,
already. All
okay.
right, it's a red flag already. That's the reason why we have an advocacy to our foreign clients to really advise them on what are the things to do. It might be tedious because they're gonna go to the titles office to get a certified true copy, and it's only rental. But then again, that's the reason why we exist.
That's for checking if it's legitimate, right? If, this
Yes.
person owns this place, especially if we're talking about lots
Mm-hmm.
of money here. Because aside from people who
Mm-hmm.
want to stay in the Philippines to retire or to visit, some of them might be interested in starting up a business. I don't know. There are younger
Sure.
foreigners. They wanted to start business there, and they might want to rent a commercial space, that kind of thing. So you have to do your due diligence. I know I may sound like a broken record, guys, but it's still happening. Scams. There are people being taken advantage of. So that's why we're here to make sure that you avoid those pitfalls. So I know it can be tedious because we love our paperwork in the Philippines. That's why JR is there to guide you. All right, so JR, okay, so we check the legitimacy of this rental property. So do they have to draw up a contract? And yeah, please don't give money without a proper lease, right? So
Yeah, sure. That's a very good advice because after that, by checking that the title and the tax declaration of that particular subject property for lease, if it actually merits, because we can actually get a certified true copy of those documents because those documents are actually a public document. Now, after that, you are now actually on the process of going for the ocular inspection of the unit. So once the unit is there and it's actually presented to you as is, and you like it, then it actually merits with your standards. Then make sure that you have actually read everything there, especially with the deposits, especially with the provisions of as is where is, especially for the repairs, major repairs, minor repairs, because I heard a lot of foreigners or foreign clients who are already here in the Philippines complaining. And we would like to let them understand that the standards here in the Philippines is way different from the Western.
well, tell us about those because yeah, repairs. I'm not the expert here, but most of the time I heard from talking to people here who are landlords. They said, "Oh yeah, I take care of those for my renters there." But in the Philippines, it's not always the case, right?
Yes, it's not. It's way different here. Speaking of the repairs, that should be clearly specified in the provision in the contract on what are the major repair that will be on the account of the owner and what would be the minor repair that will be on the account of the renter. So the one who leased the property should actually know that, and also the time stipulated and the provision, especially on what will be the effect of the security deposit thereafter. If you plan not to renew your contract, what will be the allowable deduction on that particular security deposit before it will be refunded back to you. So those are the two common frustrations that I heard with most of our foreign friends here, and actually they need to really dig deeper into that.
JR, I've heard from some foreigners, they say that their deposits, they're not getting it back. How often is that?
Every lessor has a different way of doing things. There are good, there are strict, there are really specific. And I think it would be subjective now to the owner itself, because I think forming part of your initial checking before you rent a property is you also require your agent, the one who represented you, to actually introduce you to the owner. And by then you'll have a first impression of the owner if you can actually deal with this owner or not. So that's the advice that I can give to our foreign friends who are actually doing that in the Philippines per se.
Don't trust people just saying like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm friends with the owner," that kind of thing. You have to protect yourself using legal documents like a contract, notarized contract, right?
Yes. And also, I would like to add something. What if the owner is outside of the Philippines during the execution of the contract? That is very important because the owner of that registered property, if he or she actually executed a special power of attorney to any person to act on his behalf, and if he had executed the SPA before he leaves the country, the Philippines, then the local notary will be sufficient. But if that is actually executed outside the Philippines, that special power of attorney should be apostilled. That's very important. I would like to really point that out because it will make or break your peace of mind staying in the property. And come on, when you stay in the property for probably a year, you're putting up your personal things there, and probably in the next 6 months you're going out. Oh, I cannot imagine how hassle is that for you.
Can the landlords in the Philippines, can they just enter the rented space? Let's say, oh, we're just checking. Can they just do like random checks and enter the premises without the renter's permission?
They can. Yes, there are provisions in the lease contract that it is stipulated that the owner of the registered property has the right to check the property. Of course, that's one way also of checking if their property is not used to illegal activities. Although it is considered right now as a rental property, which has also the rights of the one who rented the property. As what we have always do, we always give your subscribers the right thing to do, the right information, because after all, they are our priority in doing so.
Some foreigners, they end up homeless because they've been screwed not just by their failed relationship with the Filipina, but somehow sometimes with landlords. But we're here to shed light on it so that you'll avoid doing the same thing.
If I am new to the Philippines and coming from the US, I would actually, based on my opinion, I would actually settle in a city wherein my basic needs are there. Like for example, there would be an access for international airports. There would be a major hospital just in case if I have health issues. And I will take it from there. I would start renting a place, probably 6 to 12 months. That will be my home base temporarily. I will roam around the Philippines, and once I decided to settle on a specific area, then that would be the time that I will be thinking twice if I may be renting or I may be buying a certain property.
Go there, see it for yourself, talk to a lawyer, talk to a licensed professional, licensed broker, licensed realtor. Do it by the book. I mean, I'm sure you're going to be paying fees, like professional fees. But again, as what JR said, it pays to trust a professional. Going to the next subject, foreigners, they're taking their Filipina girlfriends, their fiancés to go on a vacation. Let's say Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, like the Southeast Asian countries. I know it's very difficult for us, and there's like a mountain of paperwork. You have to prove that I'm coming back, I'm coming back, I'm coming back. The documents that they were looking for before was the CFO, or like the certified, it's like the certificate for overseas Filipinos. But then again, when you read on their website, it should have been only for those who are intending to migrate, migration to a different country, not a tourist visa. But good news, guys. I think it was just released that Filipinas traveling with their foreign spouses or meeting their foreign spouses in a different country, they're no longer requiring that because obviously they're just tourists. What are the reasons, JR, why our immigration officers are so relentless when it comes to that? Us traveling, especially Filipinas.
The main reason why are they doing that is to protect the Filipino citizen on their travels going out of the country. It's a good news that actually there are improvements to make it easier. And I think one of the things also that our foreign friends, who are especially when they're traveling with their partners, um, stretch out your patience a little bit. Stretch out your patience. Bring all the paperwork that actually may prove. Okay, we are traveling there. We have lived this for a while. We're actually living together, so on and so forth. Just present it the way it pays off to be prepared. Just put your paperwork in that particular immigration officer, and once they show you, you're confident, everything is there. And I think there should be no doubt that they will let you out of the country because you are in the perception that you're traveling together.
It's good news that they're doing away with it. There are legitimate reasons that you are just vacationing. It's like an overkill. I know they're just trying to protect Filipinos in general. They don't want us to be sold into slavery. But then again, I know it was frustrating because sometimes even though you're already married to your Filipina wife and then you're going outside the country just to vacation in Thailand for 2 weeks. I know it's another step, another paper to get. But then again, good news for those foreigners with Filipina partners, fiancés, girlfriends, they're doing away with it. We were just talking about trafficking, JR. This is like a public advisory. Now, guys, this scam is kind of evolving. There's actually like a documentary that was released recently, about a week ago. It was here in the Philippines. So they're recruiting Filipinos to go to Thailand, and somehow they're forced to be brought to Myanmar. And they were trained and forced to be online scammers. Now, why are we talking about this? Because it affects Filipinos and you guys, my viewers. So have you heard, JR, that obviously the love scams, and then there are some gemstones or inheritance or investments. They're trying to lure you to do the investments. They're even having like quotas, and then if you can't reach your quota, scamming people, they're gonna beat you, and that's really scary. And you have to pay your for your freedom. It was really awful, guys, and it's really happening. I think I have like 3 emails right now reading that, oh, I've got scammed by this Filipina, because they're like thinking, oh, this is a Filipina. I'm having a relationship with this Filipina, but somehow she needs $2,000, $6,000 for gems. Like, oh, she's got inheritance from I don't know where, like Ghana or something. It is really, guys, please don't fall for it. Oh, they're sending you parcels and you have to pay the customs, or maybe invest in crypto or Bitcoin. I don't know. I was receiving emails because somehow there is this Facebook page that was created under my name, sending invitations to my subscribers, like, you have to invest in this. Like, guys, don't just don't. Keep your money safe in your banks. So I think that wraps up our topic for today, JR. Do you want to add
Yeah.
anything, or let us know, let the viewers know where they can find you in Dumaguete, in Cebu? Where are you located?
I have my visa firm located right now. Our main office is in Cebu City. We do have Bohol, we do have Dumaguete, we have branches there. We do have Malboal, we do have Angeles, and we do have Manila. Those are uh, most of the central areas in the Philippines. And if you just need assistance for your visa, retirement, spousal, extensions, real estate, we can actually talk about it.
Well, thanks again, JR, and I really appreciate your time. Take care.
Take care. Thank you, P.
Bye. If you think about it, I'm kind of like your chef, cooking up gourmet content for you connoisseurs of quality videos. The only thing I ask for my talent in the kitchen is a small thank you in the form of a thumbs up on this video and subscribing to my channel. And while you're waiting for your next culinary masterpiece, why not enjoy some of my other videos too? And if you find a really long black hair in your food, he did it.